In this video, I'll give a brief introduction to the film Take Shelter, and then I'll talk about where you can watch the film online. Let's start by looking at the poster. So, this is how the film would have been promoted and marketed. It might give you some insights into the content of the film or what to expect. So, again, it's called Take Shelter. It was released in 2011. It stars Michael Shannon as Curtis and Jessica Chastain as Samantha. But one name to remember is Jeff Nichols. Jeff Nichols wrote the film. He directed the film. He's one of the producers. From start to finish, he's really the filmmaker, the creator of this movie. When you're writing about text, if it's a short story or a novel, you'd say the author says or the author believes. In this case, that text creator is Jeff Nichols. And you could say the director, Jeff Nichols, or the filmmaker, Jeff Nichols. So that's a name you'll want to hold on to. As a brief kind of introduction or synopsis of the film, IMDb says this about Take Shelter. Plagued by a series of apocalyptic visions, a young husband and father questions whether to shelter his family from a coming storm or from himself. So maybe, that's like the thing you'd see on the poster first as like a little synopsis in Netflix or whatever. But I wanted to show this to kind of highlight a couple things. It does, it mentions their apocalyptic visions, sheltering his family, a coming storm. And that kind of sets up that this is a serious, somewhat intense film. As far as genre, it's a psychological thriller, so it is somewhat intense. And that leads me to a little bit of a content warning. Just to give you a heads up, there's some strong language in this film, and it also depicts and discusses mental illness. I think it does this in a mature, authentic, and kind of real way. But because of that, it does contain some scenes that are affecting. Let's say, like they're somewhat intense, serious scenes and a few disturbing sequences. And at one point, Curtis's main character, some of the decisions he's making, and one specific decision leads to some self-harming behavior, unintentionally, but that is the consequence. If any of this sounds like something you want more information about, or if you want to talk about, I'd really encourage you to reach out to your instructor, because maybe you just have like a quick question as far as like, well, is this going to happen in it? Or is it a movie about this? And they can give you more detailed information about the film. Other than that, when you're watching the film, we also have included a viewing guide. It should be in your main Moodle page in the film study unit right below this. So back in the film study unit under this kind of viewing, how to access the film introduction, there's the viewing guide. There's a number of questions there. If you can complete those while you're working through the film, they're meant to do two things. One is kind of to help, point out key moments and help you work through a couple things that maybe it's worth remembering. And some of the questions are also there to guide you to kind of larger, big picture thematic ideas about the film. Once you're done it, be sure to submit. And once you've submitted answers, it will allow you to review and kind of go back over some suggested ideas or some discussion questions. So be sure to submit and then review those when you're done the film. So to access and actually watch this film, I'll go through the steps once and I'll kind of walk you through it. So you go to library.norquest.ca. That's the library website. So you go to library.norquest.ca. You click Find. It's right at the top of the page. You click Find. You go into the Articles and Databases. Then you select the Criterion On Demand database. So you go into the Criterion On Demand database, and in that database, you search for Take Shelter. From there, you can just click on the film, click play, watch it, hopefully enjoy it. Just to go through those steps with visuals. So I'm on Norquest on the library, so library.norquest.ca, and I'm going to click Find right up at the top. Now, once you've clicked Find, you're going to go look into one of the articles and databases. So I'm going to click on Articles and Databases, and that will take me into a long list. You might have to scroll around in here depending what your screen looks like, and scroll around until you're in the C's and find Criterion On Demand, excuse me. That's what it looks like. It's got a little bit of a film, CP, Criterion On Demand. Once you click on that database, it'll take you into the Criterion database. Just a little bit of information. So this is a database or collection of films. And as a student at Norquest, you have access to all of these films for free. Um, and it's a pretty complete, full, really good database. Like something like the second one there, Another Around. I think that won Best Foreign Film of the Year at the Academy Awards this year. There's a real complete films in here. Feel free to search, look around, click around, maybe find something to watch casually. But what we're looking for is Take Shelter. So on the main page, there's a little search box. If you type in Take Shelter, once you've typed it in there, it'll say, is this the one you mean? Take Shelter from 2011. There's that cover again. If you click on that, you have a few options. You could watch it just with the English audio. You could watch it just with the French audio. Or you could also choose to watch it with the English audio and subtitles. So if you want the subtitles on, make sure to click that second play button and it'll play with English audio and subtitles as well, just to make sure you're picking up on everything. So again, that's how you access the film Take Shelter. Be sure, remember, go back before you open up the film, get the viewing guide open. So have those questions somewhere where you could kind of work on them. So have the viewing guide open the film, maybe pop some popcorn and enjoy.